So the reason I'm making this quick little video is just to talk a little bit about competitive apoc and apoc in general, and why I made some of the decisions that I did. Um, I came back like a long time ago. I've quit a few times. I mean, I didn't really think I was quitting. I was just taking a break because this game really fucking sucks. Alright, so recently I deleted ARGL. I got really sick of this fucking community, and I left Phoenix as a leader. I gave it to Azur, and I try to talk to Azur. And throughout this video, I'm going to talk a lot about Phoenix Squad, and nobody really cares. I just want to go over shit. But I've been playing this game since 2013, probably the end of 2012. I have videos on my 3DS and my old phone and my old computer, me playing apoc that I never want to show anybody. And apoc is something that I would say was like my childhood game. You know, a lot of people would say that Minecraft was their childhood game, which also that was kind of one of my childhood games. But the kids today, their childhood game would be fucking Fortnite, the worst game that's ever been created by man. And that really does break my heart, is that Fortnite is going to be the childhood game that a lot of these kids are going to remember when they're older. These games for me would be apoc, DayZ, and Minecraft. But anyway, I just want to talk about competitive apoc. So ARCL came out, and then competitive apoc was born. 2 to 3 years ago, apoc was popping. It was in its prime. Reborn sucked. Everybody hated Reborn. Reborn was a big disappointment, and even Gus talked about that on his own, that how bad and how big of a disappointment Reborn was. And he remade apoc Universe and added every single map in, which was a really good idea and a really good way of scripting. And they implemented the scripts that they made for Reborn into the reimagined map, which worked perfectly. I think Zack was a part of this with Hublox 2 was involved with it somehow. And then right after this, Zack left, and then Hublox 2 took over as editor. Hublox 2 is the only one that's actually updating apoc 1 today. Gusmac is not the one updating it, so when all those glitches where you can't spawn in or whatever, those aren't fixed by Gus. Those are fixed by Hublox 2. I don't think Gus has touched the apoc Roblox Studio game original game file in years. But that's just what I think. I've seen so many screenshots. I got banned from the dual plane interactive, but I've seen screenshots about how Gusmac is in such denial about apoc 1. apoc 2 was so hyped, and then the day that they promised for a year, a date, everybody waited the whole day for them to tell them at the end of the day that they're going to delay it by a whole other week. I remember I streamed my first time playing apoc 2, and it wasn't too bad, but it was terrible. And the game was popping, dude. 2 years ago, apoc 1 was probably around 3,000 to 6,000 players a day. And dude, the game got Game of the Year in 2013, I think. And now when you go look at it, the game has died so much in 2 years. You know, these famous YouTubers that used to play this game, Tankier, Bandites, Diamond tried to quit 6 times, but his fan base kept wanting to play apoc until people started to quit apoc more, and then they were finally able, all 3 of them were able to get into better fucking communities and better games that made them actual money. You know, I mean, when I was exploiting on Roblox, I don't know if many of you know this, but I used to be a huge Roblox exploiter, like a YouTuber. I made a lot of money off of that. Well, not a lot of money, but a decent amount for how old I was. I quit exploiting, and I recorded every single LM I played when I got back into competitive apoc. And I made Phoenix Squad with my buddy Dominic, which I knew in real life. I still know him. But we did Phoenix Squad, and I miss the old Phoenix Squad a lot. I'll list some names that I wish I could still talk to them a lot today. Gorsey Text, Ty, Jello, Mr. DLO Hacker, forgot name. What was his name? Tevum. I miss Tevum. Tevum came back. He was still in Phoenix when I quit recently. And apoc was fun. Competitive apoc wasn't dead, you know. And then I'm looking back at this now, and every single one of those guys quit. Even CalcuCat, all those guys quit except me. You know, a few of them were trying to get a PC to come back. Mr. DLL kind of stayed for a while. I forgot name. He stayed for a while. But Gore, I miss Gore a lot. Jello and all those guys, they all left. I mean, Jello got a computer. Gore's trying to get a computer. Forgot's trying to get a better computer. But then, so I left, and then I came back again, and I recruited a bunch of new people. One being Frxmity, Azur, Swaggy, WAP. And those are like the top 3 I can really remember back then. And Bradley, Laisha. And Phoenix Squad wasn't too bad. I actually really enjoyed playing with these guys. I thought these guys were like actually my friends. I mean, I've met one of my best friends that I've known for years off of public apoc back when I was in 2nd grade. I still talk to him today. I legit just got off playing 6 hours of DayZ with him. And then I started making this. I met him on apoc over Skype when I was in 2nd grade. That's how much I love apoc and how much it's in my heart. But there's got to be a time where I gotta stop, you know. And this is what this video is about. But back to Phoenix Squad. So all these guys were in. We were a terrible squad. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, sorry, I thought my recorder just crashed. But Phoenix Squad was actually terrible. We didn't do too good in LMs. We lost a lot of LMs, and I finally frustrated and disbanded. Came back again when I was older, and we went 3-0, and then we lost 9 LMs in a row. I remember that sucked. Azur did a 1v3, then Blake did a 1v3. Oh, Blake! How could I forget Blake? Blake was also one of those people that came back during like the new generation of Phoenix Squad. And we were doing decent, but pretty fucking bad at the same time. And I came back again after a few months, and we recruited a lot of new people. Heli Drone, Swaggy came back, Solar was back, and we actually were winning LMs. We were winning against decent teams, at least in my opinion. But you know, today, even when I quit, I still try to talk to some of these guys, and these guys, this community is so fake. I'll start out with Azur. The dude ghosts my DMs all the time. This is one reason why I quit, because I was kind of done with Azur, in my opinion. I would text him over like Messenger, and even now I texted him 3 times asking about Phoenix and stuff, because I gave him permissions and all that. And he left me on. He didn't even read it. He just hasn't read it. He was active like an hour ago, and he's just ghosting my DMs. Frxmity still talks to me. I love Frxmity. Frxmity's like one of my best friends too. Heli Drone, I don't know. Swaggy, but you know, I thought Azur was like a decent friend to me, and then just to see him like just not even answer me back at all, just really fucking sucks. And that's what this community has become. Like, this is the worst community. I mean, I have 1,000 hours and like 4 out of like 75 in like fucking Steam games, and I've never seen a worse community than a fucking kids Roblox Lego game, competitive, on a zombie game. Like, this is the worst community I've ever been a part of. And yeah, there are worse out there, but what I've been a part of, this is the worst. I've never seen more toxicity in a community, and even when I'm playing through like competitive apoc, I always get this like, oh, just ignore him, oh. But how can you ignore him when it's every single person has this issue where they just won't shut their fucking mouths? You know, this community is run from people that are like 9 years old to around 17. You know, so around 9 years old to 18, somewhere around there, and these are like kids, teenagers that are running this fucking competitive community on a Roblox game. That is set to fucking doom right there. So that's why this community sucks so bad, and why apoc is so dead. I mean, competitive apoc isn't like unplayable. There's still leagues out there that are active every single day. My league was pretty active, and I didn't rig. But if you actually go and look at this, apoc league matches, I would say 5 out of 6 league matches a day I think there's at least one person exploiting in it. There's so many exploiters in competitive APOC and public APOC, but like, there's so many scripts now that you can't even tell if someone's hacking if you're hosting a league match. So someone can get the recoil slider and just drag it down a little bit, and they can record and show you, and it doesn't. You can't really say, oh well, that's lower recoil, because it's kind of hard to tell, especially if there's something called lucky recoil, and that's what really fucking sucks. And nobody's like, I didn't get my way, so I'm gonna fucking whine about it the whole time. And it really fucking sucks. Like, nobody wants to play this game legit. So many good players from like a year ago have been exposed for hacking it. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what happened to this community? I don't know. I might be back in a few months or not, but there's just got to be a time where all of us need to fucking get off this shitty ass community. I'm done with all of it. Everybody's quitting, and everybody's like, oh, when summer comes, it'll be okay. But I've heard that for the past 2 years. Exactly a year ago, Tinker quit, Bandite's quit, and Diamond quit right before summer. That made the game go from about a year ago, it's probably around 800 to 1,000 players a day. Right now, to this day, probably around 100 to 600 players play APOC a day, and that is terrible. Especially with Roblox, which gets 1 million plus players online daily, and for a game that was game of the year, not even like that was kind of a long time ago, but 6 years ago, it now only gets 300 players a day. What? And it's mostly just because of lack of effort by Gus Mack. He wants APOC 2 to be a success, which I can understand that, but he needs to. Okay, sorry about that. But a lot of people care more about APOC 1 than APOC 2, and he's just in denial about that. He doesn't want to accept that, and so he just doesn't want to do APOC 1. The dude legit is a Roblox editor, and he said that if he wanted to change the simplest thing, he would have to recode everything. So why doesn't he just do it? You know, it's his fucking job. But it's just because Gus Mack is lazy and he just doesn't want to. And I don't know who blocks 2, but he's probably just following his fucking footsteps. APOC 2 is pretty fucking shitty. I know it's an alpha, but it's been a year and they've barely updated it seems. The game only gets around 80 players a day, because why? Because fucking APOC 2 sucks, just like APOC 1. But I don't know, I'm just making this rant. I think I'm officially done with APOC though. I might be back in a few months, but maybe if my fucking quote-unquote friends want to ghost my DMs or whatever, you know, it'd be alright. But I'm enjoying DayZ again. I've probably put like 24 hours in the past 3 days on DayZ, so I'm having fun. I feel a lot better getting away from that community. Like, every single time I'm off of that community, I don't know, I feel better. Maybe you guys should try it and just quit this fucking game because it's dying, and get away while you still can. Anyway, I'm done.